Welcome back to you, my baby grapes. I do salute you. If you've noticed, I am wearing the Panda hat on. Why? Friends, got to let you know, Crypto Crapo is starting to capitulate on his shorts, like officially. I was the very first person to report it, but now, after I reported it, within the same day, he's actually started to take profits out of his shorts. Actually getting out of, surprise, surprise, BNB, which is the Binance coin, and everybody said we were going down below $100 because CZ is going to jail and all these other rubbish junk. Well, guess what? BNB kept going up. Bitcoin maxis are seething with hatred, friends. Just to let you know, Bitcoin maxis hate Binance more than anything, right? It's next to Ethereum. Why? Because Binance enables all the poop coin shilling that they don't like because it's taking money away from Bitcoin. But what they don't know is you delete Binance, guess what? There's a market demand for poop coins. It doesn't matter that Binance exists, but they need a narrative to run with so they can keep funneling people in to buy Bitcoin under 100K because they're so certain in their minds it's going to $1 million. And they might be rudely surprised if it stops at 80 to 100K only, which is only like a 2x from here, okay? So the Bitcoin price seems to be moving around, these dead cat bounce. You know how these you know how these things end, friends. We've seen these thousands and thousands of times. It would be nice, though, if there is one fake out, come back down, and then we actually go for one final run of 48K. That would be fantastic. Why? Because at that point, you got to get everything out. I don't often say that. I'm just saying you're up to the 61% retrace for the fib. Interest rates are still high. It just doesn't look like anything should be leveraged up there at all. But that's the thing, friends. Just to let you know, every single person is talking about $48,000 Bitcoin. And I'm telling you, it's dangerous because we hit 44,000. Okay, and now no one wants to get out. You see, friends, how tough it is? So everyone thinking about 48,000, we tap 44, no one gets out. Now we go back down to 40. Now we're around 41. What if the next leg is down to 38? Look at that big discrepancy, by the way, from 44K to 38K. And that's enormous difference, okay? Because at the end of the day, yes, look, technically that's only a 14% move, all right? But think about that percentage move relative to your portfolio with altcoins in the bull market, all right? You see, right? That's huge, right? From 44K to like 38K is at 14%. Now, if you're dealing with altcoins, give it about a 2x multiplier, which means you're down 30%, okay? And it's basically the first little warning sign things aren't going up to your targets, right? So you could, for example, you could have a portfolio of $330,000 US dollar value at the top, and you're expecting another 3x like everybody else. You're like, oh, just another 3x to go, because this is what happened in 2021 to everybody, right? So you have 330K, but now your altcoins, you're down now to 230K, all right? Do you exit? Now, of course, because I'm telling you this story, you think, oh, yeah, I definitely exit. No, you don't, okay? Because no one wants to leave the party. No one. Because everybody's telling you if you click sell, you're a loser. If you let go, no, there's more to come. You're going to have the Roca Negra ETF, the Ethereum ETF, a Crypto 100 index, whatever it is they're going to throw at you, friends. The carrot on a stick for the exit liquidity. This is how the game works. It's a scum game. Aren't you glad you got a friend like me wearing a Panda hat? Right, I'm disguised as the Bears, friend. This is state of the art, state of the art disguise. I'm a spy, going in there, going into the field, figuring out. It's really smelly in there. They still haven't figured out my disguise. Now, if we have a look at ChainLink, for example, we're still moving around above this 21 EMA. Okay, so we can always come down, man. You've seen this story before, friends. Something comes down, scares everybody. Maybe it goes down to $10 if you want to get ChainLink. I'm not saying it's going to stop here, but if I was waiting on the sidelines, I would want to get anywhere from like $9.90 to like $11. I just leave a bid at like $10.50 and go, so be done with it, okay? That's what I would personally do if I wanted to collect it, okay? There's also the PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex ecosystem. Pulse is still like in the automatic buy zone for me, okay? Not financial advice, because it's 50% below day one sack. PulseX is also ravaged, minus 87%, but the utility and stuff, everything's still got itself sorted, friends. Combined Hex is 1.3 cents. It's obviously very disgusting because it's ravaged everything. Okay, the PulseX buy and burn, look down here, is still pumping it out. 2.92% of the supply burnt. Now, friends, of course, I'm going to show you the bubbles again. That's what everybody looks at here. But when you're looking at the bubbles, I mean, what are you going to gather from this? Yay, it's other new coins. Injective protocol is like the unicorn runner. See, this is the tough part. I knew this from the past cycle. You take 100 coins, there's like 2 unicorn runners, and you don't know what they are. Now, you think you know what they are. You think they're your bags. No, they're not. I already knew. I go, I'm not going to be in the unicorn runner, man. It's literally impossible. And it ends up being injective, INJ, this one. And are they going to make it to the end? Probably not. Who knows? They claim all these updates. Friends, don't believe any narrative. It's the same thing anyway. But you just enjoy the green candles. You respect the pump, right? Everybody in there, they won the lottery. Congratulations. Like it is a congratulations moment. Okay, because they had belief and they ended up winning the lottery. So, you know, there are things with better fundamentals, stronger communities, doesn't really matter. That's how markets move. Okay, you got to accept the randomness. So when it comes to these bubbles and stuff, don't take them too seriously. A lot of people are going to look at them thinking, oh, wow, this thing's really strong, but you've missed the move, man. You needed to be bullish on injective protocol when it really counted, which is a long time ago, okay? You can't just start saying you're an injective protocol maxi now, thinking you get this some path to riches, okay? So all you can do is you can put on a weekly chart. Look what it's done. This is the top of 2021 bull market. Look, look, it's just the amount of pump in this thing that came is insane. I mean, big congratulations to everybody in it. Look, friends, this is the 2021 high. Injective broke its 2021 high. So many people jealous, envious. Think about your bags, the coins that you thought would go up. That's a game, man. You got to accept it. You accept it for what it is. You're not going to pick it. Okay, you're not going to pick it. There's nothing special about its fundamentals or anything else that was able to do this, friends. I mean, look at Casper. No one had heard of it, but besides like 2 of you guys had heard of it. One person, a friend of the channel, right, commenting, put $30 in Casper, turned into 17 grand. You know, I want to ask you, okay, why don't you put 3 grand in? Because I don't know. Put $30. I don't know. It's just a random new coin at the time. It's just like 3 million market. Had no idea it was going to move. And it was a crypto bear market, right? So it's not so easy to just throw around and punt yourself. Now, this is what I want to show you, friends. Crapo is capitulating on his actual BNB short, okay? Now, why it's interesting, okay? So even though I know I'm adding to Crapo's network effect, and look, I want you to learn because these are signals, friends. These are signals. Because you see, people they didn't get it. Remember, Crapo had like 67,000 Telegram people, and as his names kept getting mentioned on like Crypto Banter Show and all these other shows, and Sir Ivan, they kept talking about him. His network effect has grown. He used to have 67,000. Now he's got 80,000 in Telegram. So he thinks his method is still working, right? Now, whether it does or not, doesn't really matter. I don't really care. But he's gaining followers. He goes, oh, well, I'm doing something right. So I'm not going to change anything, okay? It doesn't really matter. See, a lot of people are like, oh, you must be real shame. No. The shame is the people in the Telegram actually following someone like that. Okay, that's a shame. That guy's winning, right? He's actually winning. Now, the good thing is we're also winning because we're using that as a signal, okay? So you can see now capitulation talks. He says, I'm not really liking the low term time frame price action here. So I'm taking partial profits here at $250. So here he is right now. He's drawing squiggly lines. He's like starting to like capitulate on the idea. Like, you know what? Maybe BNB, for example, actually goes up because he had this meme about the Binance cartel and everything going to zero, okay? So this is me telling you, it looks like we are starting to enter the end of hope, okay? $48,000 max upside for Bitcoin, but it doesn't even have to get there. It could stop now, okay? Though we would all enjoy moon seasons from here, okay? So Crapo is starting to capitulate. I've got to remind you as well. If we go back to the Wall Street cheat sheet, please, I've got to remind you these. I made so many videos of these, friends. The Wall Street cheat sheet, people are doing it wrong for crypto. What they're doing is they're saying, okay, now that we're in disbelief, they think we're doing one little dip here and then we're going to go up and we're actually going to go nuclear. That's what people are thinking. Unfortunately, not so easy. In crypto, all right, according to the charts and the emotions, what we do is we do not do this up only line. Instead, we rinse. We go disbelief and hope, okay? And then we just keep switching between them, back and forth, all right? What does this look like in the charts? If you go back into Bitcoin chart, I've done this for you many times, you can feel it, all right? Now, the charts, you can feel it go hope and disbelief, hope and disbelief, hope and disbelief, hope and disbelief, like that over and over again. And only when there's been enough hope and disbelief rinses do you finally get that crack. Now, what's that crack going to be? It's probably Bitcoin 69K. That's what it is every single time. It's the all-time high. Trust me, you need a lot of rinses, friends. You need a lot. But guess what? We've done a lot. I think this is now rinse number 3. Okay. If we have a big capitulation to around 33 to 30K-ish for Bitcoin, I'll show you the chart. If we have some sort of scare, everyone says it's over again, this will be another hope and disbelief type of run. Remember, what's the hope part? The hope is, I hope we go to 48K and it's a buy the rumor, buy the news for the Rocket Negative ETF. That's what everybody's hoping. And then disbelief is, nope, this is going to fail like all the others. This new bad news is bad. We're correlating to the stock market or whatever it is. People invent narratives. Doesn't matter. Red candle moves from some insider, then everybody just throws a narrative on top of it. Okay, so that's what's been happening. Now, you probably want to know the secret. How many hope and disbelief rinses do we need? Well, I can tell you it's about 4 to 5 from the past few cycles, but there's no real formula into it. I can just tell you something. It's when I say, okay, now that's the best thing I can tell you. It's just when I feel like everybody's been slaughtered enough. We haven't been slaughtered enough, okay? But you're probably thinking, hey, how's that going to happen? We're feeling too good. Yeah, you're feeling good now, all right? But if I make your portfolio go sideways for the next 6 months, you ain't feeling good, okay? In month 5.5 from now, like April to May, halfway through May, because you don't know what's coming next. You still think, oh my God, it's literally been moving nowhere forever, okay? But this is good, actually, because it builds a base, and then you eventually get to clear the zone. Hopefully, we get a nice, juicy range from that. And during that time, you might even be able to collect some more juicy altcoins, or even, if we're lucky, cycle 1 narratives that might be coming ahead. Now, this is important macro news, friends. I can't stress to you this importance. Wow. Okay, you have US banks and their unrealized losses. And when it comes to this, friends, I'm going to show you this piece of information first because the CPI is going to come out. I want you to know what I'm showing you right now is infinitely more important, all right? Because these banks, look at these big, fat, red numbers. So what happens is, okay, during the QE era, all right, during the QE 0% rates, all those banks were forced to buy the top of the bonds. Okay, they bought the very, very, very top of the bonds, right? Because the yield is tiny. They're like, we'll take 0.5% for 10 years. Then the Fed just hikes rates, sends it all the way down. Now, what's funny is most people, they don't know the game's rigged, friends. Analysts think, the US Fed, they can't hike those rates because they'll bankrupt the banks. Wrong. They can hike the rates. They did hike the rates. And when it came to the banks, they printed money to save them. They don't print money to save retailers because they want to slow down the price of houses. They do not do that. And you know that already. The US Fed introduced the BTFP, that program, which is the QE, friends. They just literally, they move everything in your bank account, another bank account, a Microsoft Excel database, press the key button, they go, hey, you guys are now square. Okay. So that's unfortunately what happens. Now you can see all of these unrealized losses. Now, the thing is, they're unrealized. So they don't have to take a loss, but they got to hold all the capital in there for like 20 years. Okay, so now it's up to the banks to make sure nothing cracks the system until then. Let me tell you something. Never in history do we ever go through a period without the system cracking somewhere. So the system will crack. They will have to get compensated for this at some point. They'll probably change the laws. All these banks and the Fed, they change laws. They sit down. They're like, hey, what's one little loophole we can do which makes it okay for you without compromising the whole system in terms of making sure the retailers or the lower middle class can benefit, okay? That's unfortunately how it happens, okay? So the US Fed will bail them out again, but right now these are not actual realized losses. These are just like imaginary losses sitting on their balance sheet if they continue to hold. Now I just want to show you what came out. So recently what came out, friends, just like, 7 hours ago, was basically the US core, the US CPI numbers. And the US CPI numbers, it looks like it's a bit hot month on month, but they actually look at the core CPI because they trim everything, okay? And what I've done is I've put the US 2-year bond here just to show you it's at 4.73%. So effectively, it's 4.73% for a 2-year bond. It's, remember, the market rate, it's like 5.5% for the US Fed. So the US 2-year, friends, it has so many insiders who know what's going on, and they control trillions of dollars, that they don't want to bid this bond up and pay, because remember, the price and the yield's inverted, right? So they don't want to pay up a high price for the bond for 5.5% or 5.75%, okay? Or sorry, to sell it off, okay? They don't want to to sell it off down low. Why? It's because they know, friends, this is what happens, okay? They have secret meetings. They talk to each other. They go to the same cocktail events. Like, they know, hey, man, like, usually when rate cuts are going to come in the next 6 to 12 months and they're planning, you know, those 7 groups of people usually meet with the chairman, okay, Jerome Powell. And they're noticing like, oh, wow, you know, they had a meeting with him last month. Now they're having a meeting with him again. Okay, they don't say anything, but these are the people that go around. Now, I've heard rumors people like Bill Ackman is some of the people they like basically rub shoulders very close with them, and he can basically like sniff them out. He can basically sniff them out and figure out like, oh yeah, something weird's about to happen. Okay, so they might not explicitly come out and just say the system's rigged, but the system's pretty rigged. Okay, because all these inefficiencies out there exist. Now, you and I can't get access to that information, but they can. And guess what? They have big friends, big companies. That's what happens, friends. That's why these big bonds, the enormous liquidity. So for these things to not be believing the US Fed's words publicly and instead go to the rate cut pricing, right, type of thinking, something big's going on, huge. And by the way, throughout history, the US 2-year is almost always right. There's just too many insiders. It's just the game, okay? You just got to accept the game. The US 2-year, the US Fed basically just follows the 2-year because it knows what's happening, okay? So if you could see this, right, you see this chart, you see on the right 4.73%. If the Fed was telling the truth about all their rates, the price would be up here, okay? So instead of being down here, the US 2-year would be up here. In fact, even higher because it would be pricing in higher rate hikes, okay? But it's not. This is where the rate, I'm going to draw where the rates are right now. They're actually here right now. And look at this. You're like, wait a minute. You should be giving this yield 5.5%, but you're only getting 4.73. What's going on? You know, there you go. You can see that. They're pricing in 3 cuts for the next 2 years going forward already. So where are prices going next? I've got the Mt. Gox Ponzi Fractal right here for you. But, you know, if you also want to have some fun, friends, I mean, not even really some fun. This is actually really dangerous. This is a chart of Ethereum's 2018 cycle, 2019, 2020, 2021. This is our previous cycle for Ethereum, the yellow. And then what we're looking at with the candles is Solana. As you can see, these things, I'm telling you now, crypto, we're still a wild, wild west pure market. And pure means you need a natural amount of time to rinse everybody out. Right now, we are running above the price schedule, but we are still deep within the price zone. So I'm not saying to buy or sell anything. I'm just saying if I had Solana and I'm enjoying these green candles and the ecosystem, I would be getting out because something's just going to come and screw around until like the next 6 months to stop the party. You don't know what it's going to be. And you're probably going to see all those ecosystems and the meme coins. They're going to be in a world of hurt if Solana goes from 67 back down to like $32 and it just halves. Because remember, if Solana's down 50%, then what are those meme coins going to be down? Like 80 or 90%. Okay, that's what happens. Now, is it a guarantee? No, but you can feel it, friends. You can feel it. You just need more time rinsing. Okay, well, this is a good sign, but you know how crypto works. It's like 4 steps forward, 3 steps back. And sometimes even take another 2 steps backwards to go behind. So that's the unfortunate reality when it comes to this. But now we have the Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle, which is the 2015 cycle for Bitcoin. And you can actually see right now, if you look at the very, very top here, you can see Bitcoin is actually right around the price zone where it used to go, and now it's stalling. Okay, so it doesn't actually have to go exactly in line with it. But you can see now we are where we should be, which is fascinating because for me, as somebody, I'm so skeptical of the 4-year cycle. Even though it's playing out right now, it's beautiful to see it play out. And like I told you, friends, the only way everybody gets destroyed by the 4-year cycle is if it works perfectly the whole way up until a certain point. Okay? And then there might be a disconnect where we're seeing euphoria signals and you're going to see people on Twitter be like, something's wrong here because we're running early. You know, we've run early and there's a lot of top signals, but the 4-year cycle says we should go for another year, right? And most people are going to be saying, overwhelming majority, 90% will say, nope, 4-year cycle still in play, 100K plus Bitcoin, the best is yet to come. And then what we might find is a big kaput, Maybe the stock market tanks us. We don't know what it is, friends. Just sometimes I try to guess, but it's a fool's game trying to guess. Okay, but you just always got to be careful. No matter how low your portfolio is, you see all that euphoria, you have to be ready to act. Okay, you don't have to get rid of everything. I'm just telling you, having a 0% stablecoin portfolio allocation is the wrong one. Okay, make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, all juiciest crypto news. Catch you soon.